Where are you, gentle sprouts? Main screen on. 主様。
Am I here? Let's see. Alright, I'm here. Hello, every sprouts. I'm back for some more fishing. I'm not feeling the best though, but, you know, the fishing must happen. What news do I have? This is going to be the last Real Fishing Paradise 3D until November. Because I'm gonna do spooky games, Scary Sprout Night, which might actually not be a Sprout Night. It's night somewhere in the world. Scary Sprout Night, for most of October, which might include Scary Sprout fishing games, because I do know of one scary fishing game, so if there's more scary fishing games, then I'll play them. I'll try and play them on this Mondays. But that's October. Gonna play spooky games. Probably I gotta get my costume ready. I'm gonna be gonna switch up all of this. That is, if I have like the spoons to do it. I have an idea of my costume, and it shouldn't be too hard. I had plans to like animate some bits of it, but I might just like not, you know, just not animate it at all. I might make it floppy. Parts of it can be floppy. I might just make parts of it floppy. But like, it shouldn't be too hard. The way Unity works. Like making accessories in like from Blender to Unity isn't that, well, it's not that hard. The only trouble comes when you're trying to line stuff up and everything. And like it's a different size from Blender to Unity, even though you use the correct size. Wow, 2 bots in a row. Way to go, Rentite. Yeah, I did set up my bot, like, since you noticed the space between before the .com, that's how they bypass the link things. Yeah, I specifically added that to my bot. So, fuck you, advertisers. Anyway, that's that. That's what I plan for. I'm not wearing the well, I might wear my witch's hat for October, but I plan to like have a different costume. I'm gonna look interesting. What else? I've been trying to translate this NDS game, and I've made progress. I've figured out how it works. And hopefully all of the text, including the dialogue, is in these files that I can translate. And they didn't put anywhere else that I have to dig up somewhere. The only problem I foresee is trying to translate the images, because that might require me to dig some more. I might actually have to help. Like, can someone dump these images and tell me how to put them back in? Because like the font they use is a font that I have, so getting the images done wouldn't be a problem. It's just getting them out and then getting them back in. And hopefully then I will have translated a Nintendo game, and it's gonna be one that no one wants to play, because it's just it's not really a game. It's kind of an app. Anyway, fishing must happen. Let's do the fishing. Let me get my fishing up. I forgot to update. I will update after the stream. I guess when you get banned, you get purged. Alright, switch to 3DS. Switch to 3DS.
3DS 主様。3DS 主様。
Which one is it? This one? That one? Yes? Why is it cut off? Like that? Hi. I'm trying to remember what I set these. Wait. Nope, no, 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 nope, 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 nope. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, hang on. There we go. My mind's not here. Where? Now my controller's not connected. Bluetooth dead. Tends to die because probably a crash. Scrolling the settings onto a monitor that's not on. I don't know if in Windows you can say, okay, this window here, that's number 1, period. Forever. I don't care where it is. Play change. Tried turning it off and turning it back on again. Yup. there. I have an extra window I can throw stuff on. Cursor. Alright. Fishing! Been 20 minutes and fishing has not occurred. That is a travesty. I also have my mic set on the wrong setting again. So it has 3 settings. The middle setting is good for voice attack. And then there's 1 and 3, which I have no idea which is better for streaming. I forget which is which. I think 1's supposed to be good. Because it's 1, and then 2 is 1 with a filter, and then there's 3. The next fishing spot is high up in the mountains. I call it Snowmelt Lake. Catching some sockeye salmon should be a good introduction to the location. How about landing 5 of them? Yeah, okay. And once again, the sound is a bit weird. I did my best. This is the HLE over the LLE because the LLE was like crashing. I've been using only live bait from like here on out, and it's like, what was all those lures for? I've barely used any of them. Like, live bait seems to be the way to go. But yeah, I've been working on, thinking about, like, I think I said it was a tarot. It's a NDS tarot program. It's cute. It's not, like, serious, like, taboo or whatever. It's, like, more cute, trying to teach you how to tarot and stuff. And I think you can, like, there's the sensei, and you can put her in different outfits with different backgrounds. And, like, the cards are, like, not serious. Like, they're not Rider-Waite Smith. It's not the Rider-Waite Smith. Waite or White? I think it's Rider-Waite Smith. I have to ask my friend. I actually know someone who was related to the original Waite that did the tarot cards. By related, I mean she's like the great-great-great-granddaughter or something. Like maybe even a cousin a few things removed. But yeah, she's related to the family, and she just happens to be a witch. Which is kind of interesting and ironic. Is that maybe it's not ironic? I mean, if your family is like, it is witches. Well, I don't. Her mom's not a witch. Is she a witch or is she a goth? She's like both. She's like, maybe doesn't do the rituals, but like... It's kind of hard to tell goths from witches sometimes. Cause like I've seen a lot of goths look at like witchy attire and it's like, yeah, I'll wear that, and it's like, it's you're confusing people. So they'll say you're a witch and you'll be like, well, I'm not a witch, I'm a goth, and it's like, what's the difference? You both dress kind of in black. You both dress in like black and muted tones. You sometimes like to wear pentacles. Let's see. So yeah, I'm planning on trying to translate that. It's not going to be a very good translation because I'm going to be relying on machine translations and then kind of like taking multiple machine translations. And like, there are some machine translations do a pretty damn good job on translating something, and then like in the very next like bunch of sentences, it's garbage. But then a different one does a better translation. It's like, I'm gonna just cross-reference them and then to get the basic gist of what's said. It's gonna be a lot of technical stuff, so it's gonna be kind of easy because like I already know what they're trying to say. Like it's information I could just cross-reference and look up. God damn, all of you suck. Cross-reference and then translate, because it's, you know, like, this is its deck of tarot cards, it's 78 cards, 22 are this, 56 are that. It comes from, Latin. Arcanum comes from Latin, blah blah blah. You know, it's stuff that's, like, easy. Textbook, literally textbook. Like, the main majority of the translation of stuff is gonna be, like, when she's talking to you when you, like, first boot up the game and, like, welcome back. Hello, changeling. So that's the project I have before me. I wanted to complete it before, October, but I kind of didn't know it existed until like mid-September, and I've been trying to figure out how to translate it, which I figured out how to translate it. Now I gotta see if I can do the thing that I need to do to make it go. Which if the thing I want to do doesn't work out, I'll just use my backup thing, which is perfectly fine. The text is just going to be really spaced out because it's using fixed width instead of variable width. Which, you know, if anybody wanted to come along behind me and just fix the text. Nice. Chainmail Headband. You know, so speaking of headbands, an idea came to me. Like, Sailor Moon has those little tiara things that if you put some, like, hair clips on the end of them, that you can kind of, like, clip them to your hair so they, like, hang in front of your forehead. And if they're laid out of, like, chainmail, you'd be like Chainmail Sailor Moon. But I'm not sure how good that idea would be. Impressive, you did very well out there. Tomorrow I'll tell you about a very rare fish. Have a good night. Is it the Tsuchinoko? You know what? I like my king salmon. Okay, the Tsuchinoko's not a fish. It's supposed to be a cryptid, but it's just a very flat, very fat snake. That's all it really is. It's just a snake that kind of ate something big and then melted in the sun. So today you'll be searching for a very rare fish, the Tsuchinoko. They're the largest freshwater salmon. They are simply magnificent fish. We're in luck, and Snowmelt Lake actually has a fair number of Tsuchinoko. Try catching 5 of them. Like, do the stars mean anything? It's like they're either gonna bite or they're not gonna bite. Like, think about it. Yeah, it's just an idea. You don't have to do anything with it. It's just an idea. I mean, catering to, like, anime fans, like, it's not a bad idea. Sometimes, and I say sometimes, they'll pay for literally anything. I've got stories. But then again, if you make things for anime fans, you will attract anime fans. Maybe it's not something you want to do because anime fans. Like, half the things wrong with the... Are you a Tsuchinoko? Maybe you're not. Rare indeed. Like, half the things wrong with Twitch are because of 4chan, which is an anime message board. An unmoderated anime message board. Like, half the stuff I have banned is words, is, like, the garbage 4chan stuff. So I say tentatively, might be an idea, but choose wisely. Is it bigger fish than Tsuchinoko? Come on, bite this thing and you're supposed to like it. I mean, unless you're not. I forget what Tsuchinoko look like. And with them palette swapping everything all over the place, it's like when you have tuna and yellowtail, they use the same model because they're both tuna. But the yellowtail has the stripe down the side. It's like when you're trying to identify cars, but you only get to see, like, from the side. Alright, that has to be the Tsuchinoko. Right? Bite this damn larvae. Bite, 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 bite. Get it in your mouth. There we go. That sounds pretty cool. Trying to get my chat overlapping the OBS. My idea for the headband is golden rings with hexagon inlays in different colors. Yeah, that's... Going with black, white, purple, orange, and green because cats. Black, white, purple, orange, and green, and Twitch. And then there's the gold color. I think you've got, what is it, the asexual? Or the non-binary? I think the non-binary colors. I get those two confused. Non-binary, I think, is what? Black, purple, yellow, white? And asexual is black, purple, gray, white. And then there's a gender which is black, gray, white, green? Or black, white, green. Or, because there's aromantic, which I think is green, white, something. They're all these colors that are like the same as other colors of a very similar related thing. I mean, you don't have to. I'm just saying, like, you're almost to a pride flag. Hey, that is a Hoochin. I was right. Like, you're almost to a pride flag, so I'm just thinking out loud. Also, I'm trying to remind myself what the flags are, because I keep getting them all mixed up, and then I can't remember them. Which one's the gray one? Or is it a mixed gray? Yeah, don't you have a tortie? I think you have a calico, a tortie, and I forget. And then there's just the void, and then Solaris, Polaris, and Pollux. Natasha. You don't have Boris to go with Natasha? Did Moose and Squirrel tell you not to add Boris? That's probably a very bad Russian accent, but there's different Russian accents. And like when most people think of a German accent, it's not the German accents I keep hearing from people in Germany. Calico, a tortie, Solaris, Polaris, Pollux, Void, Orange Tabby, or just orange and white, a tuxedo, a black and white cow cat. I forget after that. I like how we're listing like Calico, Tortie, Orange Tabby, and then like the designators go to Polaris, Pollux, and Void. Like those are like now just designations for cats. It's like, oh, you have a... Well, I mean black cats are like, you have a Void cat. But it's like you have a an orange tabby, it's now a Solaris cat. You have a white cat, and it's now a Polaris cat. And then the Pollux cat, which is the dilute orange tabby. Which, you know, Pollux cats are known for knocking your small object, your small, neatly assorted, pre-assorted objects into the floor. Oh, Natasha the Grey Tabby. like gray tabbies, or brown tabbies. I say they're gray tabbies, but people say, oh no, those are brown tabbies, but they're gray. They're just dark. You have like the light gray tabbies and then the dark gray tabbies that sometimes have brown on them. Because I would think a brown tabby would be more like an orange tabby, but like browner. Said Calico has been getting more social lately. Has she now? Is it because of treats? Has she figured out how the treats work? He and the cow cat have been cuddling each other regularly. Are they called cow cats? I know tuxedo cats are like black cats that like tend to have like a little patch of white on the chest. But I guess cow cats are like mostly white with little black splotches. And I guess tuxies might be mostly black with white splotches? I don't know how cats work. Other than cats tend to be cat-shaped. And color kind of doesn't really matter. They're all cats. They all do cat things. Although I find the gray tabbies tend to be a lot softer than like other cats. Just like to care for cats. Even though cats can pretty much care for themselves and all they need you for is just to give them food and treats and to clean their litter box. Yeah, I mean, like, are you really caring for them? I mean, you're just kind of like the servant. You're like, I need food. The toilet's dirty. Clean it. That cat over there's bothering me. Go take care of it. Alright, it's time for pets, I suppose. Pet me. Alright, time for pets has stopped. Wait a minute, time for pets has begun again. You there, open this door. It's not like I'm going to go outside of the door, but I really need this door open. No, I don't care if the door's closed to keep the heat in, to keep the cold in, to keep the other cats out. This door must be open. I demand it. Meow. I mean, when you look at dogs, you care for dogs because dogs just... You need to sometimes tend to look out for dogs because they get in a lot of trouble. I mean, cats do too, but like, cats don't want you to think that they're getting into trouble. The cats want you to think that you think they know what they're doing. Also, dogs you can train and kind of like, no, don't go in the trash can, pupper. Here's a treat for not going in the trash can, and then they don't go in the trash can. And with cats, it's like, don't go in the trash can, kitty. Here's a treat, don't go in the trash can. And then the cat goes in the trash can. Again. Yeah, it's kind of a bargain. And even sometimes then they renege on the bargain. Like, this person was trying to teach their cat to give, like, high fives. So, they would, like, give a high five and then give a treat, give a high five and give a treat. So the cat learned, you give a high five and then you get something. So when they were eating pizza, the cat would like high five your hand and then just steal what it wanted. It somehow interpreted that as a gesture of I'm good. This is me telling you I'm going to take your food. Versus, I taught you how to do a cool thing. It's like, oh, you taught me that this means I get food. So, I give you a high five, I get food. Yes, I'm taking the food. No, you can try and stop me, but it's gonna be a fight. Although one thing I'll disagree with is that there was this, they're on YouTube. They basically taught their cat to use, like, these buttons that make say certain words. And a lot of the comments are the cat doesn't understand what's, like, the buttons mean. It's like, I'm sure the cat understands what the buttons mean, because you taught the cat to understand what the buttons mean. Because it was like, oh, it's just pressing the button to hear the sound. It's like, you could also be pressing the button to hear the sound. You know, it can be both. Yeah, the cat understands the concept, maybe not the language. Or, like, maybe it's like in translating, like, when a word is more like a concept than, like, an actual translates one-to-one. When I press the button, this is the thing that happens. And there was, like, abstract words like happy, angry, and love. Which, like, does the cat understand happy, angry, and love? Maybe. Maybe the cat really is just mad at you and wants to hit the mad button over and over because not only does it like hearing the word, it also knows that it annoys you, and it's mad, and it wants you to feel pain. So I hear cats can be really sadistic sometimes. Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be like, oh, the cat doesn't understand, it wants to hear the sound. It could be, it understands what it's doing, and it wants to hear the sound. And it's pressing the button because it is mad, and it wants you to know it's mad, and it wants you to know it's mad over and over and over and over again. Hoping it might make you mad. Or maybe it's mad and it wants you to fix the problem, but you don't have enough buttons that this cat can tell you what the problem is. Or maybe you taught the cat to press the button as long as it's feeling the emotion, so it's pressing the button over and over again because it feels the emotion at that length. There's various variables that can go into it that, like, cats and dogs, they understand things. They're not dumb. They understand a lot more than we give them credit for. But sometimes their understanding of something is... the thought process is different because they're not humans. You did it! Amazing! You should feel privileged. Not many fishermen get to land a hoochin. Yeah, I landed 5 of them, so I guess they're not that rare. Yeah, sure. I'll put it there. When I press this button, the thing happens. This thing means this thing. Which, maybe the cat does understand emotional manipulation. Like, we don't think maybe animals can emotionally manipulate a human, but maybe it can. Maybe it's figured out how to emotionally manipulate the human, and it knows if it presses mad long enough, the human's going to do something because the human wants to alleviate the mad condition. Which might be treats, food, pets, massages, whatever. Brushing. But of course people would then argue, well then the cat is just associating that with the whatever. But, like I say, animals are smarter than we think. Like, there was that dog in Japan that went down to, like, the bus stop or something that always waited for its owner. Like, that takes a lot of forethought and planning. Hachiko. I think the dog's name was Hachiko. And there's been, like, I've heard of, like, this one person who had, like, a, probably a wolf, probably a half-wolf dog. And every day it would go outside, go down the street to the bus stop where the kids get dropped off to pick up his human, to bring the human home. And, the person was relating the story of how that the dog was, they put the dog on the chain. They had to put it on a chain because it was like a really tough dog. And it would bark and growl and snarl and be the most vicious, horrible, like, terror dog. And, like, the workers would give it a burger. And it would go back to being like a fluffy puppy. And this dog would do this every day the workers were there. Every day they'd give the dog a burger. And then the owner finally was like, oh yeah, dog does that just to get treats. She knows how to play the game. That if I'm vicious, snarl, and angry, humans are gonna want to appease me with food. Like, I scare them into giving me food. Like, they will bestow their sacrifice upon me, like the great, noble, graceful animal that I am. I heard there's some really big sockeye salmon in the snow melt lake. Why don't you go see for yourself? Catch 2 sockeye salmon over 1'7". You know, I really like the metric system in some of these games because, like, I can conceptualize. I'm starting to conceptualize centimeters better than I can inches. Like, especially foot inches, because you first have to conceptualize 12 inches, and then you have to conceptualize 7 more inches onto that. But if you conceptualize, like, however many centimeters, like, if you can conceptualize a centimeter, then you can conceptualize 20 centimeters, because it's just 1 centimeter after another. Rather than, alright, a foot's 12 inches, that's about yay big, and then 7 more inches about yay big. Like, we don't just say go out and catch a, 19-inch salmon, we just say 1 foot 7 inches. Which, I really hate it when people say something's like 350 millimeters. That's 350 millimeters that's 35 centimeters, isn't it? Why am I catching salmon with salmon roe? This, I don't feel okay with this. I only go to the point of significance. Here, catch your, spawnling and eat them. you could also say 357 millimeters is also 35.7 centimeters. Because the actual point and the decimals actually, like, make sense in the metric system, because in the imperial system, like, 1.5 inches, 0.5 doesn't mean like 5 little notches. It means it's a half of an inch, which just happens to kind of equal some of the notches, but sometimes it doesn't, like 0.6, 0.7, like how many notches is that? It's kind of like in the middle of the notch. If I'm rounding though, I go to whatever makes most sense. I mean, it's easier to, if something says it's 350 millimeters, it's really easy just to go, right, alright, 35 centimeters, so I've got things around here that are measured in centimeters that I can be like, alright, that's about yay big. $350 millimeters is a bit more than a quarter of a meter. Yeah, meter is 1,000 centimeters? Yeah, I know a meter is shit. 3 feet? Is a meter 3 feet? $100 okay, I'm just making things way bigger than what they should be. So then a meter is 6 feet. Wait. Hang on, my brain got scrambled. Yeah, it'd have to be 6 feet. Because I have a thing over here that's 90 centimeters. And it's about 3 feet tall, so if I have 3 of them, that would be about 6 feet. An inch is about 2.54 centimeters. So an inch and a half, so 2.5 centimeters. 2.5 centimeters. Almost. See, wouldn't it be nice if we just used the metric system? The only thing I reject from the metric system is Celsius. Keep your Celsius. It doesn't make sense to me at all. It doesn't make sense to measure weather as it pertains to humans in terms of Celsius. It might be good for other things to whether, like, you know, you need to deal with larger units because something can go from 0 to 154 degrees Celsius. But for weather, definitely Fahrenheit. Because when you tell me it's 38 degrees outside, that's cold to me. When you tell me it's 28 degrees outside, that's cold to me. You tell me it's 0 degrees outside, that's cold to me. And in Fahrenheit, if you tell me it's 100 degrees out there, that means it's hot. It means it's really hot. If it's like 60 degrees outside, that's kind of, you're getting cooler. It's kind of nice-ish. Like 75 down to maybe 60 is a bit nice-ish. And then when you get to 0, that's really cold. But like Celsius, it's like there's too much of a, there's not, So I see, like, you know, 29, 30, and 35. There's, like, it doesn't seem like that meant much difference. Celsius for cooking. Yeah, I'll give you cooking. Because when we cook, we don't generally think in terms of, like, how hot the oven gets. We're just thinking, it told me 350 degrees, I set it to 350 degrees. And, like, 500 degrees, I think 450 to 500 is, like, the minimum temperature that you can bake certain clays. So you can technically, like, bake clay in your, oven. Boils at 100 C, freezes at 0 C. I mean, it's still frozen at 0 C in both of them. But, like, in 0 C, it's like just the point of freezing. In Fahrenheit, it's been frozen for 32 degrees. Well, it looks like it might actually rain today. What time is it? 8 o'clock?
8時13分.
Maybe not. Maybe I see the sun peeking through there. I don't know if it's actually Celsius is good for, like, CPU temperatures, because they all run hot anyways. But yeah, Fahrenheit for weather. Definitely don't want your Celsius. Celsius for cooking. Bring it to the table. I might agree to that. Because I'd honestly see no reason to disagree. Because honestly, when I'm cooking, I don't really think in terms of, like, how hot something is. So, like, if it's not boiling, I just up the temperature until it starts doing something, which, yes, does leave me to, like, burn most of my food, but hey, at least it's cooked in 5 minutes. However, 100 degrees Fahrenheit may not even be close to boiling water, but it'll cook a human. And 50 degrees Fahrenheit is just a little too... 100 degrees Fahrenheit won't cook a human. Your normal temperature is 98.6. You have a fever at 100, but I don't really think you're cooking. You're just starting to cook. You're sweating a lot, but if you're throwing yourself in the water, you shouldn't dehydrate, especially if you drink the water. And 50 degrees Fahrenheit is just a little too cold. It's just a little too cold. Just a little bit, just a tiny bit too cold. Degrees Celsius, however, yeah, you've cooked the human, definitely. Honestly, I want to say a human's natural temperature is around the 100 range from measurements I've taken on myself. But we measure it at 98.6 because the points that we measure it at, that's where all the cooling happens. That's just the normal temperature at those points. But I think the human body actually runs slightly hotter on the inside. But because your forehead and various other bits they measure you from is on, like, the outside, it gets cooled down to a certain temperature. But I have to do more studies on myself, so... Which, you know, all of medical science says that's true, but I'm like, but I'm different! 100 degrees Fahrenheit will give you heat stroke if you stay too long without protection hydration, since you can't expel your body heat. Being metaphorical. Yeah, without hydration, but if you're boiling somebody, they're kind of hydrated, aren't they? You turned them into stew. I mean, that's kind of an experiment that I'd probably inflict upon myself, but I don't like being hot, so I'd probably be there for like 2 minutes and be like, yeah, no, I'm not too hot, don't like. It's also a myth that a frog will stay in boiling water. Like, if you slowly raise the temperature, the frog will not jump out. If it gets too hot, the frog will, in fact, jump out. It might take longer to jump out than if you just throw the frog in boiling water. Although, if you throw the frog in boiling water, it might not jump out because now it's dead. You've literally just flash fried it. It's like what you do with lobsters when you throw them in head first. The body may be 98 degrees Fahrenheit, but it needs to expel that heat to stay healthy. Oh, a frog will stay in boiling water if you cut its reflex nerves. Well, I mean, if you cut its reflex nerves, yeah. I mean, probably human beings will stay in hot water. But... like, mostly they're just talking about, like, just a frog you find out on the sidewalk that you just throw in water. Because if you're doing science, you're introducing you're introducing all the science bits, which most people, like, don't think of, like, the science bits. Now, if you want to tell me if you raise the temperature slowly on the boiling water that it numbs its reflex nerves so it can't reflex, that's also a different thing. Because I know that the whole thing about the frog in boiling water is trying to demonstrate people who, if you throw a person in a situation which everybody thinks murder is bad, they're gonna react like, oh hey, murder's not bad. They're gonna react terribly, like, murder's bad, you shouldn't do that. But if you slowly acclimate people to the idea that murder's okay, they'll start to make excuses for it. Like how in our modern day civilization, we think some murder is okay. People can't pay their rent, get thrown on the street and die? Perfectly okay. Instead of most of us should say, that's murder. Yeah, that's where the myth came from. They cut certain nerves on the frog and did that. There's also a myth that lemmings jump off cliffs. Like, yes, lemmings will jump off cliffs if you have, like... if you corral the lemmings to the edge of the cliff in a large group, of course they'll start jumping off the cliff. They have nowhere else to go. But lemmings don't naturally jump off cliffs. What a catch. Those are some huge sockeye salmon. You've really come along as a fisherman. I'm impressed. Fisher Sprout. There's actually a lot of myths that people keep going out there, like... For example, plants can't scream. Yes, they can. They can feel pain too. We've scientifically proven that. Yes, it makes you feel bad now when you eat a salad. But then you're going to have to come to the realization that life is pain. Like, honestly, the only beings that don't cause pain are probably the plants, some of the plants themselves. Because they only eat what's dead. But then again, when plants grow up like trees and stuff, they'll block out light for other plants, so they will murder other little plants just to get the sunlight. There's an even better analogy here with the added nuance. People will accept their fate if an unstoppable outside force imposes it upon them. That is true. I mean, even some will try to fight back a little bit. But eventually they'll probably give in. But then again, we always have the stories of an unstoppable force, and then there's a hero that's like, I'm not gonna take it anymore, and fights back and wins. Which is honestly kind of unrealistic, because, like, no one wants to stand up. Which I understand not wanting to stand up against something, because if people don't have your back, you're just kind of standing there alone. Good morning, how you feeling today? There's a huge sockeye salmon at Snowmelt Lake. There must be some whopper-sized hoochin' as well. Try to catch a hoochin' over 3-3 if you can. I'll prove it you're a real pro. You know, this is Fishing Game, the MMO. I've done the same quest for every single spot in this game. Not all people, but enough for a society to emerge from it. This is MMO the game. There's fish in there. Catch me 3 fish. Okay, catch me 3 fish of this size. Okay, now here I'm going to introduce you to the 3rd fish of the lake. Catch me some of them fish. Then maybe we might have, like, catch some bigger fish of this variety before I move you on to another place. But I guess I do kind of like road trip adventure. At least there was, like, some kind of story there. And, like, the one for the Vita, Masters Challenge, even though some of the challenges didn't really make sense, they were, like, there was still a story there. Even though it was, like, dude abandons his wife and soon-to-be kid to go fishing because he's trying to flee responsibility and find himself. Then after his kid's born, he decides to, like, indoctrinate the kid into fishing. So that kid, when he grows up, can, like, leave his wife and soon-to-be kid to go fishing to find himself and can, you know, complete the cycle. Alright, it stopped being cold outside, and I am... My soda's going cold, and I am upset about that. How dare it not be cold enough to keep my soda cold? mean, I'm the kind of person that says if we want anything to happen, we're probably gonna have to be violent about it. Cause it's been proven if we're nice, and if we're nice about things, we just get ran over and ignored. Oh, I only needed one? Wow, now that's a real whopper. Definitely ready to challenge a new location. See? Oh, and I have something else for you. These should look great in your aquarium. Pipe and bridge for the freshwater and saltwater tanks. You can mess with those when we get ready to wind down. But, like, I think somebody complained on Road Trip Adventure that we measure fish by weight, not by length, which is like... If your fish ate a large meal, it's gonna weigh more than your fish that's kind of on the hungry side. Which I can see people, like, stuffing fish in their fish to see if they can win the trophies because their fish is heavier than the opponent's fish because they took one fish and they shoved it in the other fish. Yeah, it's looking that way. Or at least that we have to sustain violence enough to change the culture. But either way, violence will be involved. I mean, I'm kind of like... I want to be on the peaceful side of things, but, like... It's just been proven that violence kind of is the only way to get understood. Fine day for fishing. Have you ever heard of a fish called the Nile Perch? It's one of the largest freshwater fish in the world. They're a sight to see. Do you think you can catch 5 Nile Perch? Go to the tropical river. You should have no problem finding them. Was there only 2 fish at that last location? It's like I'm getting like... Because it usually was like 3 fish per location. Now it's like 2? Or are we going to go back to the former location and pick up that fish later? Alright, you mean I might actually have to use some of my, yeah, some of my, things here? I experimented with Instagram streaming yesterday. It was kind of fun. Yeah, I'm still poking at that. Like, whenever I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do a news post on, like, Instagram or TikTok or one of those, and I'm like, I could just use my setup here. I mean, I have a setup with the camera here with my avatar the way I want. Because, like, most of those, mobile VTuber things, you know, are kind of like gotcha funded, or like you have to buy the outfits or whatever. And so it was like, I don't know, if there was a way to get, if there was like VC Face Mobile to where I can use my VS avatar on there. My downside is I have to use a mobile device. I wish there was a way that OBS or similar worked with other apps. I know it works with YouTube. I want to say on Instagram you might be able to, you might be able to do it because there's a way to trick Instagram into thinking you're on like a mobile device to upload pictures and stuff. So you might be able to be like, yeah, I'm totally on a mobile device. My camera is this camera right here. I'll have to see though. The only other option I can say is to get an Android emulator and put Instagram on it and then use like one of the cameras. Just put my updates on YouTube. Although, that's another thing I forgot to complain about last time, is I took out the feature of automatically posting when you post a new video from YouTube to Twitter. Now you have to do it, like, manually, or get a third party something. So apparently Chrome lets you emulate a mobile device on websites. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Probably because a Chromebook counts as a mobile device, and a Chromebook, of course, only runs Chrome. You might need a user agent switcher that you can say, hey, I'm totally a mobile device. I'm totally a mobile, the mobile version of this. I mean, I'm using Chrome for my web browsing. I used to use Firefox, but then everything went to hell, and then I was just using Chrome just because. Because the way I have my Firefox set up is like, I'm using an old, I'm using Waterfox because I like having the extra bar on the bottom. I like having my tabs under my address bar. I like having the ability to remove half the glut that the modern version puts in there, and doesn't let you customize. But now that I've got my my old Firefox preferences back, it's like I've noticed Firefox hasn't been, or Waterfox, I should say, hasn't been doing a good job at some of the things that I usually want it to do a good job with. Like, the thing I used, classic bar restore and all that, is kind of gone by the wayside in Waterfox, which was like, Waterfox exists to use the Zool that Firefox is getting rid of, and now, like, the Zool doesn't work with, Waterfox? And, like, the new Waterfox is like, yeah, we're just gonna kind of be Chrome and Firefox all at once. Which is like, if you're gonna just be Firefox, like modern Firefox, you're not gonna support all of the extensions that most people use Waterfox for, then I might as well just go back to like regular Firefox. Which, I don't know, maybe I'll look through modern Firefox to see if there's any other any way to basically get what I want without, like, get what I want and maybe, like, change change my add-ons around or something. I hate that the browsers are taking customizability away from the people. 'Cause that's just showing you that they're going more and more corporate. Also, I do know that Basilisk exists, but it's built upon Pale Moon, and Pale Moon was like, we're gonna stay ancient forever. Like, we're not gonna support the new Zool add-ons. And Basilisk doesn't support some of the new Zool add-ons either. So it's like, it's Water Fox or nothing, basically. And then like I said, then Water Fox is betraying me, so it's like, I might just have to go to Firefox and be like, alright, just time to take a screenshot of what I had on the old thing and see if I can make it go with the new thing. So like having a bar at like the bottom of the screen. Hand, give me my hand. A bar at the bottom of the screen, like that had, like, on one side I had like these icons that do things, and then in the middle these icons do things, and then on the left these are just kind of indicators of stuff that's happening. And then like up here I have like the things I use the most, and the search bar's over there, and of course tabs under the address bar rather than tabs over the address bar. As for Chrome is just kind of a pile. Like I said, I only used it because it was there. But then I got used to using Chrome, and then it's like, when you've been using Chrome for a bit, then it's like, now I have to switch. I'm switching back, but now the stuff that I'm used to using doesn't work anymore because it's been 2 years. You can add photos but not go live. Damn it. I mean, I don't understand why they won't let you add photos on Instagram since there's a website. Like, really? I mean, I know why, because it's owned by Facebook and they want to push their shitty Facebook ads through their Instagram app. But, I mean, besides that, besides being a terrible capitalistic megacore, Instagram should really just add native posting from yeah, I mean, like, oh, I could post it on Instagram, or I could post it on my Facebook from desktop. They're owned by the same company. So why can't I do the same thing? I mean, it just kind of doesn't make sense. But like I said, most of these apps don't have desktop clients because on mobile phones, most people don't know how to block advertisements, beacons, cookies, and all that. Or that it's very difficult to, because to block all of that stuff, you'd probably need rootax or jailbreak your phone. Which most people won't do because it voids the warranty, and they kind of need that warranty. Or they can't do because they don't know how, and they don't trust themselves, or like this LG phone I have. It's just no one's found a way to hack it, or spent the time enough to hack it, so can't be hacked. And sure, there's Blockada and DNS 66 and all that, but they can only block so much. Like, some of the things to, like, block within these apps are, like, you really need to get into the guts of the app, or to actually have root privilege to turn off certain things the app can do. That you can't get in and turn off because Android or Google won't let you do it for a third-party app. Or whatever. You know, honestly, it's like if I buy this piece of equipment with an OS, I should be able to do whatever I want with it. I should just have root access, period. It shouldn't be like it should be like one button root, like in the developer. Put it in the developer options, because, you know, if you're going for developer options anyways, you're pretty much saying, I know what I'm doing. Put a little slider in there under development options, like a root access, you turn it on, and then, boom, you've got root access. Simple as that. None of this, you have to go into your recovery mode, upload an image of the ROM of the phone, the hacked ROM of the phone, and pray that you don't fuck anything up and brick your phone. Just to be able to turn off advertisements and everything. And to back up your apps, because, you know, you still can't do that. You still can't back up the settings on your apps. Google says, oh yeah, we'll back up your stuff, but they only back up what apps you have installed, which is easy enough to be like a list of installed apps. And if the app doesn't have like saving to an account like Facebook, Twitter, or Google, then once it's gone, it's gone. You can't undo it. When you travel to a new phone, all that's gone. Unless you root your phone and back it up from the old phone and transfer it to the new phone, which is still something, like I said, you need root access to do. And that's dumb. Or the equivalent of being garbage. Which even here on Windows, like, I do like it used to be, like, for, I think, XP or something, if you, like, basically copied up, like, moved your drive to a new computer, Windows would complain that it's not the old machine, and it really wouldn't let you do anything with Windows, but, like, on Windows 10, you can just move your drive to a new machine, do a in-place upgrade of Windows, and then, boom, your Windows works again. I mean, you might not even need to do an in-place upgrade, but it's always a good idea to. Basically, the in-place upgrade means we're gonna go back to square one as if we're installing to a new computer, and I'm going to install all the stuff that makes the stuff go from the beginning over the stuff that's there. So it's like all the drivers and stuff and everything that it'll just make sure all that's good. All your files and registry and stuff, it'll make sure all that's good. So the only thing you need to do when you get back to your desktop is to put your wallpaper back to the way it was, and to put some of your personal settings back to the way it was. And there's like various programs that will save all of that for you to where you can just one-click restore. So that's the only thing you'd lose in an in-place upgrade, is most of your personal settings. But you still keep all your installed programs and all that, so you can just... So you don't have to worry about reinstalling, searching for the CD key, finding out the CD key is not with the CD, and you might have thrown it out, or that it was on an email, but this is a program you bought like 15 years ago, and you're not even sure if you have access to that email anymore. You printed it out, but you can't remember where you put the printout, so it might as well just be lost anyways. Which, honestly, CD keys are kind of, I would say, the ultimate form of DRM. To where if you buy something and lose your CD key, you can't use the program anymore unless you crack it, which then it's like, what's the point of having a CD key on there? If you're just pirating it, it's honestly the better way to use the program, because you don't have to deal with hunting down your CD key that's like either in an email, either on a printout, either on the CD itself, or on a little ticket that they put on the inside of the CD case. I mean, the ultimate DRM is when your customers can't even get into the game, that you don't really want people to play it that badly. But, you know, all the pirates can, because they've cracked it. They've gotten rid of your DRM. Anyway, that was a tangent about, like, why doesn't these apps have posting from desktop? Like, I don't think TikTok posts from desktop. I'm not certain. I don't think you can live from your... I actually haven't looked at TikTok at all. I just signed up for it just to take my name, and then that was it. I might have, liked a video on it. And maybe read some of the comments on a video. But that's all I've used my TikTok for. Is basically to take my name. And I have Instagram, but I did that with Snapchat. I want to say I'm on Snapchat, but I haven't opened Snapchat in 5 years? Like, I stopped... It's like I got Snapchat because all the people and other people in my family got it, and then I heard, they basically are selling the facial recognition stuff to, the military and all that, so where I'm like, you know, I'm not using Snapchat. No one really... I don't know anybody else on Snapchat, so I'm not gonna Snapchat. Might do that for WhatsApp and TikTok as well. Maybe for WhatsApp. Is that still popular? Do people still use WhatsApp? Is that still hip with the kids? Hello, fellow teenagers. Is WhatsApp still hip with you guys? Still hip with all you youngsters? Facebook keeps pushing it so big with boomers, so I guess Facebook owns it now. Probably big with boomers, but at least my parents haven't said, yeah, we're using WhatsApp now. They still use, like, the built-in messaging SMS on their phones. Although they do use Facebook. And then my mom's like, why am I getting these ads on Facebook about stuff? And I'm like, because you use Facebook, and then you go to other websites that, store cookies about stuff. Or they build you a profile that, like, you've basically said how old you are. So they think you're, like, you need, like, whatever they're advertising for you. It's the algorithm. It's what I mean when, like, your private data. Which is why most of my private, quote-unquote, private data in, Facebook is fake. Like, my birth date's fake, the place I live is fake. I live at, like, I think Devil's Lake or Devil's something, Ohio. And I'm from Hell, Newfoundland or something. Although I could say I'm from Hell, Michigan. I live in, like, Devil's Lake, Ohio or something. YouTube has no idea what I am, it's funny. Well, I block ads on YouTube, so I don't know what the hell they think I am. Like, I don't see any of their ads. I'm a CEO, scientist, mechanic, housewife. You're making the big money there. CEO, scientist, mechanic, housewife. I guess that's a dream job, maybe? Well, I mean, obviously you're a CEO because you run your own business. You're a scientist because you play Minecraft, I guess. A mechanic because you do chainmail, which means you use tools, and tools are used in being a mechanic. And you're obviously a housewife because you have like 4 or 5 cats. That's how the algorithm works, right? I mean, obviously guys don't own cats. Especially not more than 1 cat. That's definitely gotta be like a wife or something. Or I should say, definitely has to be a woman because you own more than 1 cat. You definitely have to be a wife because, like, how dare you be a woman of a certain age and not married after a certain point? But even on Facebook, I have all the ads blocked, so, like, sometimes when my ad blocker's not working on there, I get ads in, like, Finnish or something. Or whatever they speak in, was it Newfoundland, the Netherlands? Wherever hell is over there, I get that language, so it's like, I can't read your advertisement anyways. I think the last one I saw was for some socks. And, like, you shouldn't be buying stuff off of Facebook anyways, because, like, most of that stuff is ripping you off. It's way overpriced for what you're gonna get, and it's gonna come from China, and I can tell you, all the stuff you see on Facebook that's coming from China, you can go to, like, Wish.com, AliExpress, and buy it for, like, $2. Maybe you might have to pay, like, $1 shipping or something, but you're gonna save yourself a lot of money. I only know YouTube ads because phone. I block all computer. Well, I use what's called YouTube Advanced, which also blocks all the ads on my phone. And I think it improves, like, the user experience on YouTube or something. And of course, I don't get ads on my Twitch because I'm not affiliate, which I found somebody else that's, like, not gonna be an affiliate because she'd rather have you subscribe to her Patreon, and that's, Self-Critical Automaton. It's like, I kinda wanna I feel like there should be a group for, like, non-affiliate, like, you know, pro non-affiliates. Because there's a lot of pressure to be an affiliate, just to have that little emoticon, emote slot. Well done, those Nile Perch are tough, but I knew you can do it. I got you a special lure that you're only gonna use once for your next fish. Tarpon special lures. I guess we're gonna get a tarpon next. It's my secret weapon. I'm sure it'll be a big help to you. You know, fish are just simple. You just throw something at them. If they bite, they bite. Like, some stuff can be better than others because it's like the stuff that's around that they bite onto, but, like, you know, if it's food, they'll bite it. Today you'll be going after Atlantic tarpon. They're primarily a saltwater fish, but can occasionally be found in freshwater. We're lucky they showed up at the tropical river. When trying to land Atlantic tarpon, use the lure I gave you yesterday. It'll be a big help. It's 5 of those suckers. What tackle did you give me? It's not streamer. Bait? No. Wet fly, dry fly, worm, spinner, rubber jig, crank, vibration, minnow, topwater, spoon, spinner. It was a tarpon something, wasn't it? I wasn't paying attention. Can you say that again, Sensei? Okay, that was a tarpon special. It's the top water. I wasn't paying attention in class. That reminds me of the time back in high school I was really tired. I forget why I was tired. I was probably up late playing video games, let's be honest here, but I fell asleep in class. Or I nodded off in class and the teacher caught me and was like, well, you're not taking notes. And then I showed him my notes and he says, those notes aren't good enough. Like, I was taking notes. I at least had notes down. Like, honestly, I feel... I don't really think we should have brick and mortar schools. Probably. Or maybe we should, but, like, I feel that there should be a lot of online learning. Like, the lessons pre-recorded, because then you don't need substitute teachers because it's pre-recorded. And as long as the student gets the work done within, like, the week, I guess. Like, you have daily assignments. But you know there was those people that did all their homework for, like, the day. or something. Like, you have the weekly assignments and you have the weekly homework, and then you can just engage whatever time you want to engage with. Like, maybe your parents work nights or something. You can't be at school at night, but now with online learning you can. And like, the brick and mortar schools are for those people that really need like to interact with a human being, because they need like the someone there to show them the examples. But of course, online learning things will have like, you can ask the question and there'll be like a little whiteboard if you have to like draw a picture. Which, of course, would be hell for teachers because, everyone's going to be drawing dick pics, but, like a little whiteboard there that you can draw the picture example if you need to. Alright, gonna call it after these Tarpon. It's getting on 2 hours. And that's kind of like my limit, because my throat's starting to hurt from all the talking. I didn't talk a lot in life, because, like, why talk? Talking makes the people angry at you. And that's bad. I mean, even online I found saying words makes people angry at you, even if they're wrong. And I just can't deal with that shit. I have a lot of other controversial ideas, but I'll just keep them in the back, where no one can see them because they're controversial. Like, maybe let's make hate speech not protected under the First Amendment. Like, let's maybe make it possibly a punishable crime, depending on, like... Because, like, if, there's sometimes hate speech is like, you didn't know. Alright, now you know. Knowing's half the battle. Don't do it again. But then, there's like the subreddits that are all about hating certain people. Like, maybe those people in those subreddits and who started those subreddits should go to jail for trying to incite violence and murder. But I'm just saying words here. Because it's always whenever a woman dies and she was killed by a man, there's always a lot of hate speech involved from both him and all of his buddies and all of that about probably killing her. Like, even if he's going down to the pub and it's like, women, man, and like the guy at the pub's like, I feel you, man, that's just enough to push him over the edge. Although I'm not saying that's hate speech, but like, if someone's complaining about how all women are wrecking his life, that might be a red flag. Or like how all black people are wrecking his life, that's a really big red flag. Because, a lot of these people, like, telegraph how they feel about certain groups of people, and we can't just dismiss it as, oh, that's just protected under free speech anymore, because it's a very big telegraph of this person will probably hurt those people. But that's a whole other rant into itself. That's maybe getting slightly, maybe too political. Then again, this is a, I don't want to say it's a political stream, because I'm only entertaining one side of the conversation. But I guess it's a political stream. You know, all I have to say is that this game's probably it's got politics in it, but it doesn't have a lot of politics. Like, the politics we have are, the person giving us a quest is kind of an old man, which says that they think that only old fishermen can, I guess, be master quest givers. And we're referenced as a fisherman, so they're probably expecting the player to be male, and that's political. Past that, it's like, what other politics can we talk about? I guess keeping fish as pets versus releasing them. That's probably saying that you're impacting the environment a bit by, I want to keep this fish as a pet. But the reason why you have it keeping fish as a pet in this game is because this game's trying to give you something that you should not do in real life. Keeping fish in an aquarium. Wild caught fish in an aquarium. That being said, I'm not selling the fish. Also, high perch. I'm not selling the fish, so I'm not making money from my fish. So the politics of capitalism are removed from this game because all of the lures I was given or started out with, I don't have to buy anything in this game. All of the aquarium stuff I'm given, I don't have to buy anything in this game. So the last one, Master's Challenge, I had to buy stuff, which means that capitalism is in that world, but capitalism is not in this world. This is more like a communism. Here, my friend, here's some lures you can use for your new fish. And the only reason I didn't give you the new lures is because you're learning how to fish, and these are kind of different levels. So, capitalism, I guess, might exist here, but it's not a driving force of the fishing industry. Or recreational fishing. That's a political statement on even putting currency in your game. Which most people don't think it is because they think, you know, like, you just buy and sell stuff, but it's a statement. We can go about the politics of fishing, like catching a living creature. Is it like the thing, like, does the lure here hurting the fish's mouth when it bites onto it, which sometimes it does. Which then causes an infection and the fish dies. But, like, this is a video game that's trying to give you an experience so you aren't going out and hurting real fish. So by the existence of this video game, it's making a political statement that maybe you should do digital fishing over real fishing, because in digital fishing, you aren't going directly out there and hurting real fish. You're also going to these locations that you probably can't go to regularly because they're a habitat for endangered wildlife, to catch exotic fish, but you're doing it digitally, so you don't go out and do it in real life. Like, the statement could be saying, hey, go out into these tropical locations and do this fishing. But it could also be saying, hey, we gave you a way to go to these places so you don't have to impact, like, the real fishing spots. Which, like, for different games, I can say, yeah, maybe not give people a digital way to do these certain things, because people do it anyways in real life to begin with. It could be argued, certainly, that in this game, like, it's just telling people to go to exotic locations, quote-unquote, to fish, but then again, it's also providing people who can't get anywhere to the sort of fishing. I guess what I'm saying is that it's fishing. It's kind of a time-old tradition. But like for other certain things, maybe you don't want to make a digital version of that, so people think it's okay to do. Like, in my book, fishing, okay to do. As long as you follow the local regulations and as long as you're like, you don't overfish, or you don't invade endangered areas. Like, if you want to catch all the carp out there, go for it. I don't think carp's endangered. Pretty sure carp are not endangered. And if they are endangered, just put your pet goldfish in where those carp are endangered, because they're just carp anyways. Anyway, that was a tangent from, hey, I think we should put schooling online so kids can access it whenever they want. Because, like, sometimes children can't get up in the morning. I mean, I can understand some of the arguments against it. It's like, but if they're at home, they're going to be wanting to do all the stuff they do at home, like play video games and talk with their friends and stuff. But then that's also the part of being a parent. But that also gives parents the power, like, when the parents are actually home from work, to be like, alright, now it's lesson time, kids? And then their parents can have an active involvement in the learning process. But of course, there are certain parents that should not have any form of active involvement in the learning process. Because they're the ones that are trying to get all the textbooks rewritten to, like, have this whitewashed version of history. But, like, that's, I guess, what I'm saying in, like, the end conclusion of that is even a fishing game is political. I mean, it's not, like, political, like, it's trying, like, some of them might be making a statement, like, Road Trip Adventure was like, hey, clean up the environment, pollution's bad. But, like, some of them aren't trying to say, you know, like I can tell you, this fishing game's not it doesn't have any kind of, sexual agenda. Like, anti-gay rights, pro-gay rights. Or anything. It's just like, it's a fishing game. So it's not political in that sense. Which is what people think political means, is like, it's like putting things in games that I don't like is political, which is like, no, politics, like, means, you know, things, the political things, like, even, does this game have a currency system? Who are the characters of this game that have importance? Is the player identified as being a certain gender? Which, well, yeah, there's the politics. That's the major politics on that. Is gender. Gender's real hot politics. Currency in games? Incidental politics are unavoidable. They are, because they're just there, like currency in games. That's saying, like, there's a capitalist system that demands currency. Rather than this game, though, where it's a kind of a communist system that demands, well, nothing. The guy just wants you to catch 5 fish because he feels that's good enough test of your skill. And he'll give you aquarium stuff and different lures when you do it. He probably wants to make sure you're not going to get eaten by the fish. Or, you know, this guy is just really hungry and he wants all of these fish. And he wants you to get all of these fish for him because he doesn't want to do it himself. And here you, the player that wants to learn how to fish, is like, sure, I'll sign up, not understanding that you might not be eating these fish, he might be eating all the fish. But then again, maybe he's cooking the fish for you. Maybe he's cooking the fish and he takes like a fish for himself and then he sends some of the fish home with you, or like you take a fish home and he takes a fish and then the rest are given to charity. We don't know. That's not in this game. But you can make suppositions about what happens to the fish. Because you either release the fish or you put it in your aquarium, so maybe we're not even getting the fish at all. Like, I don't know what happens to those aquarium fish other than they live in my aquarium. I don't know if those aquarium fish are the same fish that I put in there. They're the same size and everything, but I don't know that he didn't, like, eat my fish and then replace it with a fish that was the same size. And since I'm not going to take the fish out of the aquarium to reweigh it, I just assume that it's the same weight. Maybe he's an alien and he's using the fish as, like, places to, like, lay his eggs in. And, like, the fish I see aren't the fish I caught. They're, like, sleeper fish. They're alien fish now because they've been taken over by the parasites that have hatched. And they've killed and eaten the original host, and now they've become the fish to look like the fish I've caught, and they're going to take over the world when I finally catch all of these variety of fish. And they want all the variety of fish so they can go in all of the different biomes and ecological systems. They want that diversity. And this guy feels like, you know, 3 fish here, 5 fish there. That's like a perfect number for, like, you know, laying eggs in these fish and stuff. And because he's an alien, he doesn't understand the concept of money, and because he really wants his plan to succeed, he's just giving me lures to catch these fish. And he maybe read somewhere about how he should act as, like, a human being to get me to catch the fish, which is like, sure is a big one. Yeah, there's this lake here I need you to catch some fish on. See if you can do it for me. Or maybe I'm the alien and I know he's gonna give me the tackle and stuff. I just have to catch the fish for him, but after I put the fish in my aquarium, I lay my eggs in the fish. And then, like, you know, those eggs hatch, eat the host, and become the fish. And then I'm probably taking over the world. Which, I haven't seen any hints to that there being some kind of ghost fish or alien fish in the end of this, like the last 2 games of, like, the person we were talking to was a ghost all along. Or in Master's Challenge, which, like, there's some kind of weird ghost fish, which was just an albino, a rare albino arapaima. Which I do like the thing, like, in the road trip adventure, if you don't fill out the record, the guy just disappears. But if you do fill out the record, he comes back. That was just a nice touch. Anyway, this is a fishing game. I am catching a fish. That's about as far as the story goes. There are fish there, you catch them. I mean, even if you look at my V-streamer model, I don't like using tuber because it's allusions to YouTube, and I don't like, you know, screw the corporate stuff, the V-streamer avatar. Because if YouTube goes away, then it's not a tuber avatar anymore, it's gonna be a whatever the new thing is. VTalk avatar or Vstagram avatar or whatever. But even my streaming avatars, I'm a little bit political. I'm obviously like not human because my teeth and my tongue's purple. The inside of my mouth's green, and I have like teeth. And my hair is not hair, it's leaves. And not only that, it's green, blue, and purple. I changed it back to having a little bit of purple in it because sprouts are green and purple. And then I added the glowy bits because I like glowy bits. Let's be real here. I can try and say in my character it's like cyber something or other, but I just like glowy bits. And the reason why I don't have a bigger audience is because I don't jiggle all over the place. Which, like, default setting in V-Roid is to have the female models jiggle, which is a political decision. But people are gonna disagree with me that, like, how it's not terrible and objectifying and whatever, and it's like, sigh. This is the frog in boiling water thing, that when you just get used to something being there, that you just don't see it. You don't see what was before it to know that this is a thing that is not a good thing. You just accept it as being there and just... It is a thing that is. But yeah, anybody watching this, your V-Roid model does not have to jiggle. There's actually a checkbox or something, or a slider you can turn down, turn off. And if you feel you have to jiggle for whatever reason, well, anime was a mistake. Like, seriously, I don't really watch much anime anymore. There's very few series out there that are like, that aren't just pure garbage. And most of those series are based on, like, novels and manga. Like, I want to say adult, but not in the sense you're thinking adult. Not mature in the sense you're thinking. I'm talking like, you know, adult. Like, stuff that kids wouldn't be into. It's still kind of fantasy sci-fi, but it doesn't have, like, all the garbage in it because it's meant for men that are married. And they kind of, I guess, think that at a certain age, maybe you're not into garbage. Sometimes. That's debatable for some of the series, though. Go Nagai definitely thinks that, like, all men are into garbage. Some other men are like, yeah, we might have a lady that's in, like, a sexy evening dress, but she's, like, 30, and she's in a sexy evening dress because she's in a high-class bar. Or at a casino. And she ain't tripping all over herself, wearing a short skirt, flashing her panties everywhere. Yeah, I have a bigger fish. There's always a bigger fish. Until there are no bigger fish and you've turned into mammals. Cause the only biggest fish you can catch is a whale shark. And you can only catch the biggest whale shark. And then you can't catch any bigger fish because you've catched the biggest whale shark. The only way you're going to catch a bigger animal in the ocean is if now you go into sea mammals and start catching whales, which, like, you can't really catch whales. You don't throw, like, a little, like, a stick with, like, a little lure on the end of it and dangle it around and think a blue whale's just gonna latch onto that. Great job. It's a rush to land an Atlantic tarpon, isn't it? Quite an acrobatic fish, and its accent totally changed. Rest well. See you tomorrow. You know, I thought you were gonna be a saltwater fish. Anyways, let's decorate our tank. Another controversial thing that's come up. Apparently in the UK, IKEA is discontinuing the blue shark toy. And people are like, oh my god, I can't live without the blue shark toy. Mind you, the reason why in the UK the blue shark toy is being discontinued is because they can't get the supplies they need to make it because of Brexit. Congratulations, UK. I know I'm not blaming the people that voted against Brexit, but like the people that wanted their stuffed sharks that voted for Brexit, you did it to yourself. I think from what I hear, Canada might be affected. Because Canada's kind of like an extension of the UK, but maybe not Canada because also America. If the shark toy is discontinued in Canada because of the UK, and it's not discontinued in the United States because, well, we're the United States. It's gonna be interesting of people smuggling shark toys into Canada to sell them for profit, and how like there's a shark toy smuggling ring between like here and Canada, and how we're supposed to find it's like a super horrible thing because these people are like maybe like stealing shark toys to sell into Canada. But it's just gonna be hilarious because they're just stuffed shark toys. And it's like, really, is this what our society's come to, is stuffed shark toys? That looks good. View our tank. View our tank. Our pipe's over there. Our bridge right here. There's our pike. There's your smallmouth bass, which is staying. There's our spotted gar, which I might get rid of. There's our northern snakehead, which we're keeping. I like snakeheads, they're cute. There's our hoochin, which replaces our bass, salmon, not bass, salmon, char. Yeah, I think should have salmon and char, I think. And trout, salmon and trout. But I am gonna find it hilarious if I hear about smuggling IKEA shark toys across the border. I will kind of laugh my ass off. So I can see it, you know, like the serious person's like, today, smuggling the blahage, IKEA blahage toys against the border was like taken today. And then they're gonna have like an image of like the seized products, which are just stuffed shark toys. And it's like... yeah, well, I mean, it's not like it's going to be banned in Canada. It's just going to be hard to get in Canada, to where people might just smuggle it across the border just to make it easier for people to get into Canada. And of course, you know, like, going across the border without, like, a license to sell is, like, illegal. So it's going to be hilarious when someone's like, you know, blue shark toys were seized in a sting operation to prevent, like, price gouging and stuff. Because I know that people take cigarettes across the border to Canada to sell. Which, I don't think cigarettes aren't banned in Canada, but once again, it's cheaper in the United States to buy them, so... Then it's like, you know, hey, I'll just go across the border here and But yeah, I don't know why suddenly it has to, like, the shark toys are being discontinued in England. They say it's a supply issue, but then, you know, you have them going to the United States, so... Like, I guess the supply operation there would just be, like, more expensive to send them to the UK, and people have an idea of what they already cost, so if they have to increase the price, people are gonna, like, be like, no. They're just gonna, like, nope out of it. There's our long-tooth grouper. Our black porgy. Our Japanese sea bass. Pretending it's innocent. Our yellowtail. Relative of the tuna. And our blue mackerel, relative to my stomach. And here's our tank with the rocks and the bridge and the pipe. Le un pape, or le ne un pape, or ne Ne es un papé? I don't know French, but you know what I'm talking about. It's basically a picture of a pipe that says, "This is not a pipe." Alright, what do I need to go? Shut down! Shut down? Run type? Switch to shutdown? Switch to shutdown? Shutdown? Do I have to do it myself? Guess I'm doing it myself today. Isn't technology great? Like, I can even see a delay on what I'm saying and when my mouth moves, so... I know that's something. It's something I can fix, but I forget how. So I'll have to look in later. Alright. There we go. We drop a save. Alright, there. Where do we go? Go back on the charging dock. Okay, yeah, sorry, my brain's melted. I've had a lot of stuff going on today to where it's just like, this thing's falling off, stop doing that. Or it's one of those, you just wake up, you stare at your Discord servers, and you just want to close your Discord servers and go back to sleep. But, thanks everybody for joining me. Let me do my shout-outs. You ready to raid? No. Wait. What are you playing? What are you playing? Not playing? Playing retro. Oh, you're probably playing Mega Man. That's why I don't see your video. I have it blocked because Mega Man is just boring. I'm tired of seeing Mega Man all the time. We could, well, maybe not. Well, I'm not doing a raid. Okay, damn. Hold, please. Yeah, it's, underscores. Shout out to Self-Critical Automaton for saying, "Hey, I'm not going to be affiliate. Please subscribe to my Patreon. Please don't give Twitch any more money they don't deserve." And while I say, hey, subscribe to my Patreon, please don't give Twitch any more money they don't deserve. And I have Ko-fi, and the PayPals, and the Cash Apps, the Venmos, the LibrePays, and the Streamlabs. Yeah, I think it's the Streamlabs that you can donate at. Maybe Stream Elements too, but I think Streamlabs is the one that I have set up. Yes, you can donate and subscribe to me at all those places too, because I already have them, because I had to sign up for them to donate to all the other people that I wanted to donate to. What else? Shout out to Changeling Chain for being cool and being here. Go check them out. Go check out their well, I say go check out their chainmail, but it's more like go check out their cats, and you might see some chainmail happening while you're watching the cats. But you can see some chainmail happening with cats, which is pretty cool. And sometimes video games. Sometimes, yeah, like Minecraft and Stellaris and some other video games that I forgot. Anyway, thanks everybody for joining me. VOD. You can check out the VOD, but you know, since this is happening now and you're hearing this, you're probably checking out the VOD if you're not checking out the YouTube video. If you're checking out the YouTube video, no need to check out the VOD unless you want to hear the music at the beginning. And VOD hasn't dropped off. Otherwise, thanks for checking out the YouTubes. Anyways, take care everybody.